Hi everyone, and welcome to my April plan with me, which also includes a new journal plan with me. This is my brand new and very first dotted journal, and we're going to start it off, as you saw, it was a quick 2023 part 2, and the quote is, "Life doesn't give you problems, it gives you puzzles," with the worst puzzle piece you've ever seen drawn. My year goals, which I'm hoping to add to as I think of more. Then over on the next page we've got your standard grid guide, which took a little while to work out. Like what sort of sizes I was going to need, how many squares roughly, and I did add to it as I actually did this. Oh yeah, I was also recording this at like 1 in the morning, so my math took a little while. Oh, and do you like the background? My jigsaw puzzle background. Anyway, so I'm going to start off with like my year at a glance. Got big swirly April, and that's a little bit of backwork there, which is what's going to be the theme for April, and at the top of each month I'm going to do a little motif like that. But these pages are so then if I've got an appointment coming up I can fill it in way in advance. And I do actually do this all the way up to March 2024, so then I have a full year in which to add these notes. As weird as this may sound, it was actually oddly therapeutic writing out all those numbers. By the way, isn't this music just so relaxing? Okay, so that brings us to the end of that. Next is my books to read and my books to listen to, so Audible and BookBooks. If anyone has any suggestions, please let me know in the comments. We've got my highlights, basically what it says on the tin. Anything I think is like awesome. Now we officially start on April with I'm Not Weird, I Am Limited Edition. And I don't know what it is, but at the moment I'm in love with doing my diesel curly whirly like that. And yes, I did write March first and then went back in with April. I went into this month not knowing what sort of colours I was going to use. I actually pretty much improv'd all of this. I just was like, I want to do black work. Ever since I started wanting to do bullet journals and learned about dotted bullet journals, I've been like, black work. I've got to do me some black work. Because as people who've been on my channel for a while will know, hence the stitch part, into stitching. I love doing black work. It's something that looks really complicated, but it's not. It's actually really easy if you break it down into its parts. Like as you can see here, I'm doing the like fishnet part first, because that's what that makes me think of, like fishnets. And then I go in and do the pastels. If you try and do it all at once, you will just confuse yourself. And then it becomes a nightmare with loads of mistakes, and you will see me using a lot of Tipp-Ex throughout this. But if you break it down into its individual parts, this is actually really easy to do, but it looks so complicated. It really does. And if it's something that you want to try out, you can either just Google black work and then have a go at copying it out, or if you actually want to try stitching it, I highly recommend Blackwork Journey. They have, Elizabeth Allman, she has some really good blackwork designs that you can buy, and she also has a lot of freebies. So there's definitely plenty there for you to try if that is something that you want to do. As you can see, I went with red and black as my main theme. So I've got my April goals, and I have to say I love this swirl like cutaway that I did here, and Again, this is another really simple pattern, but it just looks so complicated when it's done up. And it has like an almost like 3D effect, which I'm just madly in love with. I love this one. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I am gonna be fangirling over this pretty much the entire way through. I love black work. Like, this may be something that I do every year, a black work month. Like, just throwing in these little splashes of colour just to like make it pop. Because black work, as the name suggests, is normally done in black, but it's nice to be able to just throw in a bit of colour to make it swish. So if I highlight on the next page, and then after that we're going to have a 2-page spread of the month's calendar. And to anyone who has noticed, yes, I did do the bottom row 1 square shorter, because I can't count the hour of the day, it would appear. I didn't want to go too overly complicated with this, because, you know, the pattern work is pretty complicated. So 6 rows by 7, given how the days of the week fell this month, and throwing in the black work pattern into the spaces that hasn't got any dates on, just to help close them off but also make them look a bit more decorative. Not gonna lie, I did find going over the lines of the calendar did slightly throw my concentration when I was doing these griddings, but only a little bit, nothing too major. So I just squiggled on some red over the numbers to help make them pop, and a blue drop shadow. Over on the next page is probably the most depressing one of them all, let's face it, the money overview. How poor am I this month? We've got Beloved, which is something that I really need to get better at doing. It's a cross-stitch design that I've been working on forever. At the bottom, yeah, we're going to have a lot of Tipp-Ex on this one. What I will say though is on the camera, the Tipp-Ex shows up way more than it does in person. It really does just fade out in person. It's probably the light shining on it that's making it pop so much on the page, but it genuinely does not show that much in person. So this one is really a very simple diagonal grid with crosses, but it just comes out so effective. Okay, over on the next page we have top 10 books, which is something that I'll fill in at the end of the month, and Audible. I've put in like 3. I don't know if I'll listen to 3 Audibles this month or not, but we have 3 as an option. If it's a thing, it's a thing. If it's not, it's not. Oh, this next pattern was actually one of the tricky ones to do. Particularly as it was pushing about 2 AM at this point. This is definitely one way you do need to break it down to make it simple and easy on yourself. Because otherwise it's just a total beast of a design. And yeah, I did fluff up the top 10 bit. Okay, got a shopping list over on the next side with a little motif. The black work motifs at the top and bottom. Very simple but very elegant. Over on the next page, manga, because I do try to read manga a day. A manga a day keeps the insanity away. And just a very simple repeat pattern on the bottom, which I don't know why, but when it came to doing the blue, my brain just was not working with it. I don't know why I didn't just go to the other end and go for it, but you know, whatever. Over on the other side, book, because I'm trying to get faster at reading, and I'm just trying to find the time to do anything in life is so hard. Okay, over on the next side is my temperature, because I'm trying to do a temperature blanket, but I do need to order in some more yarn. On my other table, which is just a bit thinner, I decided that I was going to throw black work down the sides of these tables to try and make them just look a little bit more swish, with with a different pattern on each one. I'll let you make up your mind if I should have done the same pattern or done different ones. I'm still not 100% sure. I like them both. But yeah, I don't know if I should have done the same or different. But I did different. And along the bottom is the yarns that I will be using. I think I filled that in after. Okay, over on the next page is going to be my mood tracker. If I'd been a bit more awake, I would have laid this out probably a little better, but I do like how it came out. So it's a sort of Celtic knot design. The idea is that one loop on the knot is for one day and the other loop on the knot is for a different day, the next day. I'm going to use 3 different colours, blue, purple and red, and I'm having blue as my happy colour, purple as my and red as my because personally I prefer red, and I think that going purple, blue, purple, red just looks nice, and if I preferred red, then red, purple, blue looks nice. So that's just how I did it. I am recording this on the 8th because life got in the way, and I've got a couple of these fully filled in, and I have to say it looks really nice so far. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how it turns out by the end of the month. Okay, over on the next page is my stats. I'm keeping track of like general health. Do I feel well? Do I feel meh? Do I feel pain, anxiety and stress. Just doing these nice and simple so then I can put, with it effectively being 2 squares worth of dots for each date, I've got a number 1 square, and then I can just fill in the next square with an appropriate colour, which is going to match what it is for moods. And I did do a very simple zigzaggy black work pattern to fill up the not used spaces in the calendars. And of course a drop shadow. Got to do some drop shadows. Okay, and over on the other side we have some things that I'm hoping to keep track of. The top grid is going to be my puzzles, the next one is my socials, and the last one is videos like this one. do suspect that I'm going to have way more videos done in this style because my health has been down the toilet lately, and this is just nice and easy. Again, we have a nice blackwork motif. I really do like these motifs. So simple, so effective. And of course, if you either haven't got the time or the patience to do a lot of repeat pattern, they're very easy. Okay, I have to say that this page is probably my favourite in the whole book. Well, this is 2 pages, my personal faves. And you'll see why so soon. I love this one. So, the left-hand page is my language tracker, because I'm currently insane and trying to learn 3 languages. Because overkill much. I'll be honest, personally I'm preferring doing 2 of the 3, but that's just me. But still doing 3. So, what I've gone for is this blackwork bee pattern, because as you may or may not know, I actually really like bees. I want my own hive someday, because I'm that kind of crazy. Oh yeah. And something I'd like to point out is whenever I'm doing a blackwork pattern, it comes towards some lines, be it from writing or a table, I'll stop the line short so it doesn't actually touch. See, I've got like the cone pattern, just a simple yellow line in it just to help make it pop. Oh, and this is where tired brain kicks in. Because yes, I did just do all that wrong. I would definitely recommend being somewhat mentally with it when doing this. Because like, yes, blackwork is a lot easier than you think, but you still need to be on your toes. So yeah, a full page. I think it looks amazing. I love it. Now over onto the next page is my tracker, where I definitely go somewhat overkill on what I'm trying to track. I'm not necessarily trying to force myself to do all of these things every single day. My aim is to get half done. If I can get more done, that's awesome. If I don't, okay, that's life. For example, some of the things that stopped me from doing this video earlier was I did actually go to the other end of the country for a couple of days, and it was like 5 hours traveling. You can't really expect me to do half of this stuff while I'm traveling. But I'm trying to use that yellow for filling that in because I think it looks really good against the bee page. And yes, I did do a bee at the top right hand corner because I'm a busy bee. Okay, on the next page we have my national days, and yes, I misspelled that before anyone points it out. I didn't notice till later, and I'm not changing it. I'm hoping that everyone's been enjoying watching my National Day videos. I have had to do a couple of batch lots, because if I end up missing a day for whatever reason, I will try and catch up. And I did end up having to do a batch lot because I had a headache from hell for a few days, so I couldn't do anything. Okay, over on the next page, we have something good, which is basically what it sounds like. Just write something good about the day. The weird thing that I found though is on days that are just meh, you know, they're not bad, they're not good, it's actually quite hard sometimes to think of something to put in there. Not like it's been a bad day or anything, it's just like trying to pick one thing in just a very mundane day. But I do think it is good to force yourself to focus on the good, because let's face it, the human brain is definitely too easily wired on the negative. And again, blackwork with these red and blue accents really helping to make it pop. Okay, and now we are on to my first weekly spread, which will be going from the 2nd through to the 8th. And as I currently don't have a lot to do in my day-to-day, I am going to be using good portions of these as like a little bit of a diary. I want to use my stuff good to like focus on the good stuff, but I want to use these pages to like fill in some of the other stuff. Because sadly, not everything in life is going to be amazing, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you should forget it. So, now this is where I wish I'd done a little bit of forethinking. Instead of just going straight in and writing the numbers down, I wish I'd done the pattern and then done the numbers. It would have made my life a lot easier here. Oh yeah, my original idea for the 6th, I just couldn't wrap my head around it at that hour of the day, so it got scrapped and something else got put in, which is fine. To be honest, I think that what I ended up going for worked out better than what the original pattern would have looked like on such a small area. I probably should have wiped out the numbers and redone them. But we have lessons for when it comes to doing next week's list. But it's nice to see these like little samples. Some of these may come back in later on in the week. They may not. I don't know. We'll see. Not the week of the month. Of course, we've got to put our accent colours in. I quite like how the second came out, because with the red and the blue there, it did give it a certain amount of 3D effect. So I think on this page, my favourites are the 2nd and the 7th for how the colour and the pattern came out. Okay, on the next page we have my spending tracker. So I can try and stick to my weekly budget. And of course a drop shadow. And the drop shadow on the previous page. And the quote of the week is, "You can't wait until life isn't hard anymore before you decide to be happy." Now I did go back to this page because I remembered that there was nothing there to fill it in. Oh, sorry about that. And as this is the last bit, I would just like to say thank you to everyone for stopping by. And if you do decide to copy this yourself, it'd probably be for May at this point. If you could tag so that I can see, that would be amazing. Let me know what you think, and if you have any ideas what I should do for the rest of the year. I have a couple of ideas floating around, but I'm open to any suggestions. Particularly one of them is going to be fiddly as hell, and I wouldn't mind putting that one off if I'm being honest. My laziness knows no bounds. Okay, for this page I just did this bit because it was going to be really tricky. And here we have my full overview. Oh yeah, I put a Discworld ook plate, as they called it, in the front. And I will put a link to this notebook in the description box. And I cannot wait to see all of these months filled in with the little bits of detail at the top. Those spaces I need to fill in. But yeah, if anyone has any recommendations for books to read or audiobooks to listen to, let me know as well as any ideas you think would be cool to do. for stopping by, everyone, and I'll see you again next month. Bye.